Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. Today's matchup features two teams looking for a win. It's the Panthers coming in at 2-4, going up against the Cardinals, who come in at 5-2. For the call, let's send you out to the broadcast booth, where we'll join our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Larry, from the home of the reigning NFC champs, there's a look at Bank of America Stadium here in Uptown Charlotte. Straight ahead is a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game between the Arizona Cardinals and the Carolina Panthers. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gauton. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they interplay here. And they've lost 3 straight here, and it goes without saying, I guess, they could certainly use a win.
And how do they get a win? Because they've lost 3 straight, I think it's paramount that they get a fast, clean start to this game.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Cardinals here, they're in a real groove of late. Winners of 5 of their last 6 games. Both of these teams about to reach the halfway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be taken very short. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. So out come the Cardinals now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by Carson Palmer at 7 seasons in Cincy, 2 in Oakland, and now in his 4th year with the Cardinals.
And I think he's found the ultimate home for himself because his matchup with head coach Bruce Arians, I think is sensational. We always hear about great quarterback head coach matchups in NFL history. Well, these guys found each other at the perfect time. He knows how to run the offense Bruce Arians wants because he wants to take those shots downfield. And that's definitely Carson Palmer's game. They need him to up his game in the playoffs for them to get over the hump and get to the Super Bowl they covet.
And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, it makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And this one complete to Jermaine Gresham. A good pickup there at 22.
Okay, when the big guy runs a corner route, you're asking a lot no matter who's covering him. Doesn't matter whether it's a linebacker or a defensive back. Yeah. He usually has the advantage because of his body type.
The first down carry here for Johnson. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Let's just go ahead and go back through that play with his eyes because he's got to read his keys. Run or pass right off the top. You're probably going to read an offensive lineman to see if he sets up in pass protection, if he fires out for a running play. The next thing is you're going to check and see what the back's going to do, and if he ends up with the football, okay, now you got to check and see. Does an offensive lineman come downfield and try and block you? Are you going to try to elude him? Are you going to take him on and hold your spot? What are you going to do? In this case, didn't have to do any of that. Saw all of his keys, saw the play in front of him, and ran clean to the ball carrier and finished off the play.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. Let's see what the offense comes with here, 2nd and 8. They go to Johnson again. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. And the starting crew defensively for Carolina.
Luke Kuechly is absolutely amazing. Maybe the best middle linebacker in the game. Not only is he cerebral, this guy's athleticism is off the charts.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. On 3rd down, Palmer. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. And Catanzaro's kick is right through, and the Cardinals have the first points. It's 3-0. So it's our visitors who make the first dent in the scoreboard as they get 3 here on the initial drive of the ball game.
Yeah, it's hard to say who actually won that opening drive. On the one hand, anytime you can come in as a road team and get an early lead, you're going to be thrilled. But at the same time, to have the ball as deep in enemy territory as they did and come away with only 3, that's got to be a little bit of a disappointment.
They'll come out in the pistol. Newton to his fullback, Tolbert. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. The carry here for the big tight end. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6. And the 11 defensive starters for Arizona.
Deion Buchanan was drafted as a safety, but makes many of his plays as a linebacker in their scheme.
An extra DB added here for the Cards on 3rd.
Blitzer play coverage.
Out of the gun, Newton. Gets it to Benjamin. It's caught. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. One of the newer Cardinals picked up from New England, Chandler Jones. Able to collapse the pocket and drop him for a loss of 3. With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Panthers in possession of the football as we begin quarter number 2, but they face a 2nd and long to start things out. Here's Newton now on 2nd down. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off.
Well, surprise, surprise, partner. No, we know it's not a surprise. When you try to complete a pass against this Cardinals defense, there's a reason that they are known as the no-fly zone.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had a field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away, but the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Palmer. He's got the hook up to John Brown on the right side. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation. Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge. And that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
And this is caught on the sideline, but no, they'll say out of bounds. He caught it, but was not in bounds, incomplete. And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the 2nd down incompletion. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out, and it's picked up by the Panthers. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them passive, has it? I mean, they dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback in the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap, every hole that might be created in the running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football. Well, there they went blitz defensively, Charles, and things were paved well coming from the linebacker position.
I love the way that you described it, paved well. Oftentimes, the guy who gets home on the blitz, he's going to get all the credit. But his teammates did all the dirty work, right? They ran into people on purpose. They sometimes tugged on jerseys to hold linemen to create space and gaps. And that play finished off really, really well. Well conceived, well designed, and even better executed.
Throwing is Newton. Blitz coming, and down he goes. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6. On fourth down, here's the veteran Mike Cyphers to punt this away. The Pro Bowler Patrick Peterson back deep for Arizona. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. The Panthers defense, they make their way back out there now. And trailing on the scoreboard last time, able to force the fumble. I'm sure they'd like to do that again.
That's exactly right, because what they did last time is help them stay in this game. Being opportunistic, taking the ball away, that can help keep a game tight.
Yeah, we'll see if they can be opportunistic here. They'll be looking to force another turnover. Throwing now, Palmer on first down. Completes it over the middle to Floyd. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker. Well, there's the first time in this game that Carson Palmer finds Larry Fitzgerald. Likely won't be the last, but how about the way these two have helped each other's careers?
Yeah, they really have. It's hard to believe with Fitzgerald, but really both of these guys, how long they've been in the league now. But Fitzgerald, gosh, 3rd overall pick back in 04.
Yeah, how about that? Remember, Carson Palmer, a former Heisman Trophy winner, he's finally found a real home in Arizona.
Throwing again here, Palmer. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. 2 yards to go here on 3rd down. But not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
And he's got Gresham. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. On first down, it's Palmer. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. So Palmer, who's had some devastating injuries in the past, he's out. And set to come in, the strong-arm veteran from Michigan State. It's Drew Stanton. Now Stanton, and his first throw since coming in is incomplete. That one was intended for John Brown, and it's 3rd down. And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the 2nd down incompletion. On 3rd down, Johnson. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down. So we've hit, well, that came a little abruptly here. Still working on my apple up in the booth. Hang on here, let me spit this out. And we can get to the 3rd quarter now. And this will be a touchback. Last year would have come out to the 20. This year they'll move it out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game.
Half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Now a play fake here on first down. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll make it a second down. So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. To throw on second down is Newton. Over the middle here to Brown. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. Now a first down throw for Newton. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. On second and 10, Newton. Flushed out right. And that'll be incomplete. And Patrick Peterson there getting his hand on another one.
And that's multiple times in this game where he's able to knock the ball away. Are we sure he just has 2 arms, 2 hands? Because it feels like he's almost like an octopus out there. How do you get a pass into a receiver when Patrick Peterson's defending him?
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. Now it's Peterson. 12 yards on the return that time. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here, where we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut him down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
He lost 6 there on the first down play.
There's so many times during camp and practice that you get bored as a player doing regular drills. But how about that shed and skate drill right there by the linebacker? You do it each and every day. Get the blocker away and get into the backfield and make a big-time tackle. That's what we just saw.
Caught on the left side, Fitzgerald. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
Anytime you call man coverage against Larry Fitzgerald, you're really holding your breath as a defensive guy, because his ability to run such precise routes and use that big frame that he has, that body against you, it's going to be very difficult to break passes up against him.
Yeah, when you make 9 Pro Bowls in your first 12 years, you might want to give him a little bit more coverage than that.
Yeah, it's not just athletic ability. He's a thinking man's receiver as well.
On second down, Johnson. And some room to work. David Johnson on his way. Touchdown, Cardinals. David Johnson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Cardinals now adding on to their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Uh-oh, flag comes out here. This is going to be roughing the kicker.
When you're going back there on the kick block, you've got to go to the right point. That didn't happen. Ran into the kicker. The penalty flag had to come out.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
2nd down now after the incompletion. This is Tolbert, the fullback, trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that's caught inside the 30. And he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line. Well, they've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time you're struggling because your passing lanes are clogged. That usually happens when you're throwing the ball underneath. People start to press up on you. Push them deep. Find some space and open things up again. Being aggressive there, I think, will pay off for them.
That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set them back for 2nd down. They tried to run the counter, just that the defense wasn't fooled.
And when they're not fooled, you see the end result, because what you're doing there, you mentioned the counter. You're using your offensive linemen sometimes to pull or move to influence the defensive front to go in that direction and create the space back in the other side and block it appropriately. But you're exactly right. Didn't move him. Sat there waiting for him and made the play. When teams take shots at the end zone, you've got to defend it the same way you would defend the 1st down sticks. You defend the goal line exactly the same way. They can't cross that. You play through the receivers. And on that play, that's exactly what they did and batted it away.
And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
In this situation, it's really tough to figure out how to defend, because they have plenty of room to still take deep shots at the end zone as they just did there. Yet at the same time, you've got to be ready for the short throw. In this case, when you see the cue that they're going for the end zone, retreat and make sure you have a way to play forward, back towards the receiver, and have a chance to bat the ball away as they did there.
3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's Cardinal football. They're also out in front of the scoreboard as we get set for the 4th. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way, because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football.
And the most curious way there to burn some clock. That was wild. And at the end of all that, it winds up a safety. All right, Charles, help me out here. 4th quarter, you've got the lead, and you run backwards into the end zone. You're just trying to do too much.
I almost don't have words for it. But, you know, every coach that we talk to talks about running backs or people running the football, running north-south, getting upfield. He went way in the opposite direction, and that's going to cost his team.
Yeah, it cost him big time. Still leading, but it costs him. Cardinals defense now, they make their way back out there. They're just hoping for more of the same. Last time they forced the punt that led to a score.
They flipped the field, essentially, and that's what you want to do as a defense. Make sure that you put your offense in a great position to run their offense and put the ball in the end zone. That's exactly what they accomplished.
And they accomplished that last time. What will they accomplish this go-around? So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store.
After that incompletion, I almost get the sense that he's going to look up at the booth and kind of look at us and say, hey, you guys got any suggestions? It's been that kind of game, hasn't it? They've had him on the run throughout.
Yeah, and I get that you're trying to make a play here losing fourth quarter, but to throw when you're not set with pressure coming could have been an interception.
Very much so, and it's been that kind of game for him. They've had him on the run, had him off balance. He's got to find a way to make some big-time throws down the stretch.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. Here's Mike Cyphers now, as he'll punt it away for the fourth time today.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. And now let's look at David Johnson. And as we peer at the numbers, he got off to a struggling start, but since then really found his rhythm.
And I think that comes together with not just the halftime adjustments, but just that quiet confidence. If you just keep doing the things you've been working on, eventually there will be creases. You know, find those gaps in the defense, keep working on them, and maybe what didn't happen very well for you in the beginning of the game, it starts to open up as the game moves on.
Stanton. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Larry Fitzgerald was the intended target, and that'll make it third down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he sensed being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. And this one will be brought back to the 22. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
And a great spot to start this drive from here. Now following the interception, here's Newton. Looking for the end zone. So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
To throw is Newton. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
5 yards on the pickup, and that's going to bring up a fourth down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And no, It's incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Cardinal defense is going to get the football back. So they finally get their first trip to the red zone, and it ends with nothing.
And that's what I'm going to focus on with you because you teed it up really well. Finally get to the red zone. So there's got to be a little bit of frustration because they haven't moved the ball as well as they wanted.
Crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. On the ground, this is Johnson. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
The 15 yards through the air and a first down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
They'll hand it off now. Johnson, 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. 8 yards to go here on 2nd down. Now Stanton. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. The intended receiver was David Johnson, and it's 3rd down. And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the 2nd down incompletion. And on 3rd and 8, defensively, they're going to beef up the secondary. 6 defensive backs. They'll set up to throw. And that one goes incomplete on the drop. That's one he definitely normally catches. 4th down. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to at least get him a lead here in overtime. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short. No good. And that changes everything here in OT.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
We focus our attention on the Cardinals defense now. Last drive, touchdown surrendered. Here, see if they can stop them.
It's always a constant battle of letting the last series go, good or bad, but especially bad. Give up a touchdown. Okay, forget the finger pointing, forget the blame. Go back out and play the defense you know you're capable of and help your team out.
And probably look to the leaders, as always.
As always. They're going to be the ones going to grab some people and say, all right, let's do this thing.
Now Newton with his first throw in OT. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
It looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
Defense thinking pass. They've got the nickel set out on 3rd and 6. Here's Newton. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Even in today's NFL, when we think of the tight end position now as really a glorified wide receiver, we're still asking a lot of those guys. They have to block as well, and every now and then, they don't come down with the football.
Here's Mike Cyphers now, on for a very important punt here in overtime. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. Neither team scored yet. Now we go to sudden death. Next points win this game.
How about the tension right now? It is ratcheted up, isn't it? I mean, now whatever happens, points are scored. That's your ball game. Can't wait to see the defense now. Do they get a little more aggressive in order to not let the team just drive the ball easily down the field.
Got to be careful, though, right?
Yeah, if you're too aggressive, you just give up something easy and cheap. But some defensive coordinators, they'd rather take a stand that way as opposed to being nickel and dime down the field. That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage. 9 yards to go. It's third down. Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. Here's Drew Butler now as he'll punt it away for the second time. Here's Ginn. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Good solid gain on first down, about what you'd expect from the big guy carrying the ball.
On second down, here's Newton. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
Here's Mike Cyphers now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. On the return is Peterson. 39-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Cardinals, great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. They'll run it now out of the gun. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down.
Oftentimes when a guy has a game like this, he's going to take his offensive line out to dinner afterwards. But after a play like that, he may tell them, instead of getting the steaks, guys, we might have to go for the hot dogs.
9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
They try the left side with Johnson. And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here in overtime, and we'll be back. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. We were just treated to an absolute dandy in this one. A great finish at overtime with a long field goal. Everybody, including us, on the edge of their seats. Quite a game.
And it's rare that you get a game into overtime that it doesn't turn out.